Stand by to stand by. Stand by to stand by.
Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Stand By to Stand By with me, Stephen Covey. Here in Miami as we brace for summer and all that entails. One thing that it entails is a slower season. This is a seasonal type of industry. And if you are worried about my absence recently, it's because it is seasonal. And the past few months are the big push to kind of build up everything you can before the slow season of the summer. That's how it is down here. People don't like to do shows, not only because it's hot, but due to the threat of hurricanes and other tropical events. So I guess who can blame them? So point being, there'll be time. We'll get this show going again. I'll get back on track. So please, please, please stop with all the hate mail and all the angry comments and suggestions. It's all coming together. If you do want to send more hate mail or any kind of mail, you can do that by sending an email or a voice recording to Standby. That's right, I've dropped the S. Big news, everybody. Breaking news. It is now Standby at standby2standby.org. That's right, no extra letters. It's already long enough. And speaking of long enough, long overdue is this episode. This is a good one. It's going to be a two-parter, too. I'm back with a two-parter. What do you think of that? Not just back with one, but back with two. Not immediately after another, but the same guest, because today's guest is Sam Deshauteurs. Sam, in part one, will tell us about how he got into the industry, his start with the Alvin Ailey dance company. Pretty cool. And then how he kind of made his way from there into tech and into what he's currently doing as a project manager for a major company down in the country, really. I was going to say down here, although he is the down here branch of it. Part two, we do part two because unfortunately, Sam was stage left at what became the worst mass shooting in American history. And that is an episode of itself. That needs to be an episode by itself. That is, it's a lot, man. It's heavy. So a little bit of a disclaimer before you get to that one. This first part, listen in. It's great. Listen, get to know Sam. It's cool. Get to hear some of his tales from around that world back then, and with Alvin Ailey, etc. But be prepared for part two. It's not gory. It's not graphic. But it's intense, and it's potentially, trigger inducing. So just be aware before you hit that one. I'll warn you again before we get there. But, it's going to be good. They're good stories, man. And this summer, we're going to nail it down. I got time. We got people. We got things lined up. Get this show back on its path. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for standing by. How many times can I use that? And I appreciate you for waiting. And even more reason to subscribe, really, right? So you know when they pop, because if they don't pop when they're supposed to, then you will miss them, I don't want you to miss them. I want you to keep up as this thing keeps going, because it's going to keep going and growing. So stay with me. And eventually, we'll get to some stories of mine and stories of others. And remember, if there's any stories of yours, Standby at standby2standby.org. All right. This show is brought to you by Endless Patience. Endless patience. When there's so much time between this queue and the next queue, you can do nothing but be patient. Side note, it is weird how that's changed. There used to be a lot of people reading books. There were card tables, and stuff. Now everybody's on their phones, man. You just sit on your phone and you wait. And you wait for your thing to do. That's the show calls, Anyway, I've been busy. I can't wait to share some of the stuff I've been up to, man, trying to really step things up. And it's been fun. It's cool, man. Way more creative. This job is full of surprises, man. I keep finding things, and it's exciting. Nerve-wracking, to keep trying to branch out more, but it's been cool. It's been really cool. So I hope to share all that eventually as this thing keeps going, because goddamn, we are only just getting started. What is this, episode 4? Oh, man, I should be so much further along. Apologies again. Please stop with the vitriol. I'm doing my best. I'm a one-man operation down here, and things to do. All right. Thank you, everybody. And here, listen, part 1 of Sam Deshauteurs.
Stand by to stand by. Stand by to stand by.
Dude, thank you for being here. I know you're leaving town tomorrow.
Yes, indeed.
I'm sure being home, resting might be nice, but you're here talking to me.
I'm not home. I am not resting because I have to go over so much paperwork and scheduling and cruise staffing and.
Oh yeah, well you're doing all of that now, right?
Yes. I'm now a project manager, so I'm overseeing way too much.
Are you still working on lighting at all? Or are you really
Not even.
Really?
Not even. You know what I mean? I don't even own a wrench anymore.
No shit. Well, that's cool. You like it, right? How's that feel?
It's different. It's different, but I'm glad that I know how to use one.
Sure.
So when I do see something that's wrong, I can call it out quickly.
Right.
And there's nothing that I see on site that I cannot do myself.
Which you haven't done yourself.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
When did you start doing stagecraft though?
Oof, 19.
There we go. Last millennium.
Oh, there we go. No. I'm lying. I started touring in 1999 in New York.
Woo.
And I moved over to the tech side in 2005.
So you were touring as a dancer at first,
yes,
right?
Correct.
Amazing. I think that's kind of a slightly common path for people too, right?
It's a logical path because,
Makes sense.
you still stay from the entertainer side of things to the technical side of being an entertainer.
Right. So that's what puts you in such a good spot now, right?
Yes.
Is you've seen
Yes.
on stage,
Yes.
off stage,
Yes.
backstage.
Doing lighting, I was, successful at doing lighting because I knew what it was to be lit.
Makes sense.
So
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And there are a few people like that are really good lighting designers that came from that exact kind of path.
Because they understand what it is to have a front light in your eyes, or booms that are not focused properly or too bright. Put it at 100%, it's fine. You know what I mean? But if you start doing pirouettes and spinning or jumping or doing something crazy dangerous
With
and
blinding lights,
and then
in
you
your
have
eyes.
strobes in your lights, in your eyes,
right.
and what's gonna happen? You know what I mean?
Right. Haze and strobes happening.
And you can see shit. You can even see the floor, and then you start doing flips. And
So do you remember when you first started doing lighting design that was something you were clocking the whole time as far as
100%. 100%. I mean, there's so many people I look up to, and learn from, and
Sure.
I still do, to this
you have
day.
to. I hope so.
To this day, but I wanted to be able to reach that level at some point. You know what I mean?
Something to aspire to.
And I
man.
never stop trying. I still don't. You know what I mean? You will never reach that top. You know what I mean? You will never reach that top.
I hope not. Right.
And that's a part of the journey.
Right. And find a way to keep climbing. Find a new avenue into it.
Of course.
And you've done that. You've got dancer. In the late 90s and then with Alvin Ailey, right?
Yes,
which is fucking major.
It's one of the biggest company out there.
You know what I mean? You're not dancing for the down the street dance company.
Yeah, it was not a pageant for sure.
So how was touring for that, by the way? Was that busy?
That was, and it still is, that company is still the most toured company in the world. You know what I mean? More than, New York City Ballet.
Really?
They're still the most toured company. Yeah, because of the size of the company versus, trying to fly 100 people, New York City Ballet or, even Miami City Ballet.
Sure,
It's a bigger size company.
It's a lot to move.
But the logistics of moving this size, from the crew to the dancers and,
Makes sense.
So that 80 company, which still consists of 30 dancers.
That's it. 30 dancer company.
Yeah. 15 crew members, that's manageable to get them across the world.
And they do, and they tour the whole world.
And they still do. I've toured the world over and over for 15 years with them all together.
That's pretty wild too, right?
Yep.
So when you go to different places, are you able to kind of explore, or are you just like...
Yes. So the cool thing about on the dancer side of things is that by AGMA contract, we have acclimation time.
Okay.
So they give us, no matter what, like 2 days to
acclimate
Gotta
get
to
acclimated.
where we are.
Sure,
I mean, like,
makes sense,
to
man.
take care of a jet lag and all that stuff. So some of us take that time to do so, and some of us don't.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, look, I'm in Italy.
Well, you know,
I just got here.
There's different ways to get acclimated.
Yeah, let me go check out, the Coliseum. Let me go, like, I may not have that opportunity again.
That's right.
You know
You're there.
what I mean?
You're there then.
You're there.
Who
You
knows?
don't know if you're going to be there next time, next year or whatnot. You know what I mean? So
That's pretty exciting. And as a young man too, it must have been like really
I was
exciting.
invincible back then.
I bet.
I was invincible.
Must have been top of the world, man.
I was fit. I was young. I was invincible.
I bet, dude.
You
You're touring around with one of the biggest companies. You're hitting everywhere in the world.
And they take you from Japan to Italy to like Singapore.
That's amazing.
All over Europe.
Come on.
You gotta explore. You know what I mean? And you're getting paid to do so.
Right. You're at
getting
work,
paid.
man.
You're getting paid to do so.
I mean, not that the dancing is like easy.
Sorry, I gotta leave. I got a show tonight.
Right. Let me go do this performance. We'll meet up after.
I'm being
maybe.
facetious, but you.
I know what you mean, though.
That's
wild.
It's a lifetime opportunity. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
To be an artist, a performer. To be able to tour the world and learn different customs.
Yeah, sure.
Different
Because you're dealing
customs.
with different crews everywhere you
Different
go.
crews
right?
from and we can touch up on that. On the technical side of things.
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
But
because you got there.
Yes, I did.
You know what I mean?
And but as a dancer back then, it was, I met new friends all over the world.
Dude.
You know what I mean? Like,
right. Well, you're spending time out there.
Yes, and we kept in touch. And we like when they move, they come to the country. When your phone rings and you have a England number calling, or a Cyprus number, or
that's kind of
Italian
exciting,
number,
right,
be like,
man?
I know who that is.
Oh my
What I
God.
mean? Like, that's pretty cool.
Do you still kind of keep in touch with some of them people?
Course,
Really?
I do.
Like
I do.
lifetime friends, man.
Lifetime friends.
Come on,
forever.
dude.
You know that bond that you get when you meet somebody for the first time, you know what I mean, out of a at a restaurant or bar after the show, and then you at the hotel bar.
Right.
You don't even have to go far.
Right.
Just be at
Just
the
downstairs
hotel
in
bar.
the lobby.
Downstairs,
Right.
after the show, you're trying to get a soup or a salad or whatever you into.
Okay.
And
Soup
then
or salad. Oh,
soup,
wow. All right.
or burger or
Oh, shoot.
kebab.
Oh,
you know,
man.
whatever.
Oh, all kinds. All right.
And then you meet people that, and some of them just went to see your fucking show.
So there may be fans, or like you're like a
Yes.
local celebrity almost at that point,
Well,
right? Kind of, right? There's like that kind of vibe, maybe.
Companies of that magnitude, they always have a following. You know what I mean? So some people do travel to see them.
That's kind of
Sometimes we're in places where, it's easier to get, because we tend to stay close to the venue for obvious reasons. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
And so do, patrons.
They're nearby too.
They're nearby
So you're going to
too.
cross paths.
Yeah, so they and be like, oh, we recognize you,
Right.
and I'm gonna say something that may be wrong, but
Sure, say it.
if you go to a country like, I don't know, Poland, you know what I mean, and
yeah.
they're not used to see a black company,
There's that too.
they're not used to see black people twirling on stage, you know what I mean,
It
like.
does become this like, I don't want to say exotic thing, but different
But
thing.
yeah, we
what I
are,
mean?
we are,
Interesting
we
thing.
were. This company is a black dance company. You know what
Right.
I
It's
mean?
not
So-
just one black dancer
yeah,
in the
so-
company.
So you see,
interesting.
you see like 30 plus, black folks in
yeah,
one
yeah.
lobby. They're like,
Like, okay, what's going on here? Yeah.
they look it up. It's like, oh my God, Alvin Ailey, in Austria, blah, blah, blah. They're going to go to the show and see what it's about.
Dude.
Then they come back to the hotel and be like, hey, I recognize you. You were awesome. They'd be like, yeah, let's go have a drink. Let's go.
Dude, it might be life-changing for a lot of people, actually, right? I
Dude,
mean, really, opening their eyes
to this day. You know what I mean?
pretty
To
damn
this day.
special.
Even my own children,
Yeah.
my own children, like, my oldest is 11 years old now.
Mm.
And I remember taking her to see Alvin Ailey at the Art Center.
All right.
That was, crap. That was maybe like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, dude.
That company is like on its 60th anniversary.
60.
60 something
That's
anniversary.
Amazing.
And that ballet, Revelations, which is like a like a stamp, like a trademark ballet for this company, and that's been performed for 60 plus years now. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was looking at her, my daughter. We were stage right backstage because hey, I got juice, right?
You know some people, right? You know people here and there. Why not?
I was able to sneak her in. You know what I mean? Stage right, and I took the time to look at her while she was watching from the sides, not even from the front. She was speechless.
Just locked in.
She knew Daddy was a dancer. She knew Daddy danced in that company.
Right.
But
she understood the concept.
But she doesn't really get it.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
Until you see it,
she was like 5, 6 years old. But I saw the spark in her eye.
She was getting it.
She was like, "What did I just watch?"
Yeah. And from the side too. It's
from the side.
There's something more special about it in a way. I get it. The performance is directed at the audience out front. Yeah. But seeing it from the side,
but she got it from the side, my dude. Like the energy, she could feel the dancers exiting the stage, going right back out, being out of breath, being
it's intense.
Like
it's intense.
Into their craft. You know what I mean? To a point that I was like, you know what? I took her back the next day, like see it from the front.
Beautiful, brilliant. Yeah. That's an amazing idea. Seeing it first from backstage, getting to see them real. Now let's go see what it looks like for the audience.
What did I just watch? Like,
you getting to see it through not only a kid's eyes, but your kid's eyes.
My own kid.
Come on, man.
My own
that
kid.
Is special.
And then it was at the time when we were driving home after that, and I was like, hey, Papa used to do this.
Then she made the connection.
And she made the connection, and she was speechless. Like she was like. It took her a minute to process that. You know what I mean?
Come on.
But
you get to be such a, not just proud of yourself and all these things, but now on this other level as a father and seeing it through your daughter's eyes. That's
the point I was making is that company has this stamp ballet that still trigger or make a reaction on the people.
Yeah.
From something that was created over 60 years ago.
Right. The longevity of that. Think about that.
It will never stop.
Right. That it's changing lives all the time.
And the ballet itself that I'm speaking of, Revelations.
Sure.
The lighting cues are the same.
Oh, really? They haven't even changed?
They haven't changed.
No kidding.
In 60 years.
Hey, man, if it ain't broke, right?
You can imagine the lighting that was used back then. They're still using Source Force.
They haven't even moved up to LEDs or anything. No kidding.
No.
It's not just the same light. It's the same light.
It's the same lights. The same gels.
Well, there's something so much about the tradition of so many of these shows too. And people want to come back and it's that thing they can kind of count on. There's almost
it's a sure thing.
It's almost like a religious aspect to it too.
It's a sure thing.
Right. You know what you're getting.
You've seen it. And you're going back to see it again.
You're going to see it again.
And again, and again, and again, and again.
Right. It's satisfying, right?
Yep.
You don't have to worry about, you don't have to overthink it so much. You can just sit and enjoy it. You don't have to kind of decipher it.
You know it's coming. You know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be good.
You know you like it every time.
Yeah.
Dude, my kids have been to the Nutcracker every year since
That's another one. That's another one right there.
I think it's very much the same idea.
How many times are we seeing this damn ballet?
I mean, they changed the scenery once,
change,
but the costumes change. Whatever. Some things might change a little.
Yeah.
But it's the same show.
The balloon is still going to be there.
Decades.
The snow is still going to be there.
And the audiences are still there.
The audience is still going to show
every
up
year,
regardless.
It does so well.
Yep.
Everywhere. And then they do Nutcrackers everywhere, all over the country.
Correct.
Right?
That's correct.
And they all do well.
That's correct.
There's something about that, man. And that's something so special about this whole industry, man, is that energy that is there. When the whole audience decides, no, we're clapping together on this moment. Mm-hmm. We don't have to talk about it. We all know. This is something to celebrate. Mm-hmm. So how is that as a performer, dude? Are you feeling that energy from the audience when they're clapping? I mean, it's coming, right? They're clapping at the same moments mostly.
That's a very good question. There are times where, okay, this ballet is popular. Whatever I'm performing, it's popular. Clapping is going to happen there.
Right. You can almost time it out.
Yeah. Be like, okay, here it comes. And there are times where it just it happens at different moments.
It's spontaneous.
And you're like, fuck. Wait, that's not supposed to happen. That's later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
What did I do? Or what happened? Or you look around,
right. What was the thing?
Okay,
What's different?
Did somebody else, did something that we're not supposed to do? Or, I mean? So...
Oh, right. Are they clapping at the wrong thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
Wait, hold on a sec. You know what I mean? And that's the nature of live theater.
That's the beautiful.
That's live
that
theater.
spontaneity, man. That like
Live
anything can
theater.
happen. You know.
That's and then sometimes you go to countries or you reach an audience that doesn't get it. You know what I mean? Or doesn't fit into their mold.
Sure.
Or
that's gonna happen, right?
Or they're not. I've seen things where they were not allowed to clap.
Not allowed to
Not
clap.
allowed to clap.
I'm guessing. Where'd you go? North Korea or something? Where'd you go?
Like countries where what I mean, like
They're just-
even looking at women
Mm.
in unitards is not okay.
Oh, interesting.
Where
So they still come to the show, but
they
they're
come
coming
to the show, but you
with
know
like
what I mean,
a sense of
be like, hey,
we're just
you're
watching
looking at
this?
something that you're not be talking about.
So don't you dare react in a way.
Don't react to it. Don't look at it a little too
What's
hard.
that like as a performer?
Oh, it's like, yeah, what are we doing?
What's
Why are we
happening?
here? These are places that are, like where, and I'm not just talking about that company that I've been a part of, but
No. I'm saying in general. Yeah.
in general, like, like people make the conscious decision to, what, we're gonna break somebody, we're gonna fuck things up
Yeah.
on purpose. We're gonna do something that hasn't been done.
Yeah.
Let's change it up. Let's expose people to something they haven't seen. They heard of it, but they haven't seen it in person.
Oh, to do that with the arts, though.
To do that, oh my
It's
God!
throughout history.
You got it.
You know?
you got it. You
Like,
got it.
and we're still doing it all the time.
You got
Everyone's
it.
looking for that next thing too.
You
Like,
got
how do
it.
you open
You
it
got
up?
And it's life changing for a lot of people. You know what I mean?
It really is.
And
It's amazing to me.
changing people's life through art to whether it's dance or poetry or visual effects or
Any of it.
like it's, if you can make somebody like speechless,
Yeah. Think about that.
dude, you
What a
did something
power.
right.
What a
you did
power.
something right.
You know?
You did something incredible. We're in an industry that I think can be very, very rewarding as a self-introspection
It can be.
aspect. You know what I mean? Like, be like, you know what? Look what I did.
Dude, it should be. I mean,
Look
really.
what I did. And sometimes other people tell you like, hey, look what you did, man. That was fucking awesome. But like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, that was good.
Dude.
You know what I mean? That was good. And I liked it. It was stressful. It was
It's all
it was
those
a lot
things,
of
too.
work.
Right.
It was,
A lot of lost
but-
sleep.
a lot of no sleep.
A lot of
But
no
it's
sleep.
and you try to balance your family and your friends and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean, like I personally, I don't know about you, but I sometimes I feel, wow, that was gratifying. You know what I mean? Like I see it, I see pictures of it the next day.
Oh,
I see how do you say, like reviews of it the next day.
Yes.
Or
And you're a part of that.
I see,
That's cool.
it doesn't have to be, like necessarily where your name is plastered everywhere.
No.
That project
Just
was
to have been a part
success.
of it. Like you're a part of that transition, that thing that happens, man.
Yep.
It's so cool. I love it so much. And that's what makes your path so damn cool too, from going from dance, realizing that there's got to be some next thing there, right? Like it's very hard to continue as a dancer into later years.
Oh, I learned the hard way. I learned
Injury?
the hard way. Injury.
What
Yep.
was it? Let's hear it.
It was
Was it one specific one or multiple?
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit.
I would never forget this.
Oh, tell me.
It was a New York City Center season in 2005. It was a ballet that I was performing with the company. And I actually did a hip hop move. It was a ballet that
Okay.
included, requires some kind of hip hop. And
So kind of a different motion than usual. Is that
well, yes and no, because the Ailey dancers in general are very versatile.
Oh, for
like
sure.
from ballet to modern to hip hop to contemporary. This company is so versatile. It's not even funny. But that particular ballet required that particular move, and I heard a snap.
Oh no.
You know. And I was like, whatever.
You're on
Keep
stage,
going
performing-
on
there's an
stage,
audience.
full on.
You're in
Like
it. You're in it.
it's going. It's happening.
Ugh.
It's happening.
But you don't feel anything. You just hear it.
You hear like snap.
Oh,
It's like I was like, okay, well, move on, keep going. You know what I mean? Like I go on through the whole night, and that was the second of 5 ballets of the night.
Oh, you're just getting going.
So we gotta go. I was not in all 5 ballets, but I was on that second one. You know what I mean? But I wasn't the last one.
You were in the last
I
one.
was cast in the last one as well, so I had to
yeah.
go change.
Stay warm.
Stay warm, do my thing.
Oh,
And
no.
but like you have the adrenaline, your body's warm, you're sweating,
So you're not feeling anything.
I
Oh,
keep
no,
on going.
Sammy.
And
my
and that
God.
night I go home. I take a shower at the theater, and I take a shower, and I cannot move anymore.
Anything.
I cannot move. I get out of the shower.
Oh, fuck.
I had to call the physical therapist that was on call with the company, and I was like, I can't move. I had to sit down, and
Were you terrified?
I was scared. I was scared.
Right,
I was scared.
it's a
I was
scary
like, like I was physically back then, like really built. Not to toot my own horn. I was fit.
Toot away, man.
I was fit, muscular, you know what I mean, like in very good shape physically.
So now all of a sudden, for the first time
all
ever,
of a sudden, for the first
move.
time in my life, I cannot move. I cannot move. And it's not because I couldn't, not because it was hurting. It's just that I had no range of motion in my back whatsoever.
Oh my God.
So I had to sit down and call the therapist. My wife at the time was a dancer. So she helped me at least cover myself, get out of the shower.
Because you're in the shower.
I was in the shower. I'm
connecting dots.
butt-ass naked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like,
it's no time for modesty, dude. No time for modesty.
All right, I get a problem.
You're like,
I'm
this is
butt
it.
naked.
Listen, this is where we're at.
This is what's happening.
I don't know what to tell you. Somebody help me, goddammit, please.
Help.
I don't care. Let's go. Help me, please.
And
Oh
then
my God, Sammy.
they quickly realized that, something is wrong.
And you're not, I mean, it could be, in your mind, it could be anything, right? I mean, it could be like a permanent thing.
I knew that something happened because I heard something.
So you start connecting that.
I heard something over the loud music, mind you.
I'm sure, right.
On stage, on the monitors from the side. I heard that pop.
I'm so
that
scared
snap,
to hear what it was.
I'm
not trying to jump ahead, but
no. I'll give it to you. It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
Patient, Kobe.
Making me cringe, bro.
And so they're like, okay, snap. Something is really going on. And I was never one to complain or be like, my body needs this, my body needs that. I was invincible back then.
Right.
I was I was in my early 30s. You know what I mean? Like I was like, wow.
So were you still thinking like you'll get through this too?
Yeah, it's fine. I was fine.
Still.
I was fine. You know what I mean? Like, but like, I was like, shit, I cannot move. That's not good. That's when I knew I need to.
Good. I'd say that's not good.
I need to
man.
ask for help. And that's when physical therapy arranged for, I'm going to make a long story short.
It's okay. Take your time.
They took me to a nearby clinic with x-ray, and they discovered that I fractured my fifth lumbar vertebrae.
And that's what you heard?
Yeah.
You heard your vertebrae
pop.
rupturing.
Yep.
How does that
From both sides.
Oh my God.
Fractured.
And then are you still like unable to really move? Are you worried that this might mean
I
real
recovered.
trouble?
I recovered. It took me 6 months.
Oh God! Wait, can you blow that up? 6 months.
6
man.
months of recovery.
People always do that. They're like, "Oh, it took me 6 months to learn to walk again."
Yeah,
like, that's crazy.
It took me 6 months of recovery, of physical therapy, and extreme like medication. That was the worst part.
Yeah,
that was the worst part.
Well, because you're keeping the pain under control.
Yes.
Right. Oh, what a nightmare.
Where it's located is either a full body cast.
Get out of here, man.
From your thorax all the way down to below your knees. So you cannot move your, like.
They didn't do that to you, did they?
No, I refuse. Yeah. So it would have been a quicker recovery if I was completely immobilized. You know what I mean?
Put me in a coma, man.
I was like, no, it's not happening. So it was like I was in bed forever.
Now, what's your mental state at that point, too?
Oh, I was like...
Because you just went from an invincible dancer to being laid out.
I got knocked down. I got knocked down. Here's that 30 plus guy that think he was invincible. You know what I mean? That is...
What a horrible slap.
A dancer, so his body is his vessel to make money.
It's your art, it's your job, it's your profession.
It's my whole life. That's what I've done my whole life. So that messes with your psyche.
How could it not? How could it not?
It messes with your psyche big time.
And you have so much time to just sit and think about it.
And I'm just when people are going back on the road, all of a sudden I've been traveling the road, like being on tour.
You're scheduled to go on the road. Now, can't go.
I'm scheduled to be on the road. So I'm going from being like 30 plus weeks a year on the road to being on a bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hoping you'll recover to do it, right? Are you hoping to recover enough to get back out there?
Well, that's next.
I know, I'm jumping, man.
That's next. You start thinking a lot. You know what I mean? Like you like shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna, can I say something? You might want to edit this out. I couldn't take a shit without being in pain.
Right. Well, no, to me, the details are the most important part because that's what makes it real. Like that's what that is.
Yeah.
But now you're not in a full body cast, but everything hurts.
Everything hurts.
So you don't even want to like take a shit.
Hurts to take a dump.
Right. So you're like, not looking forward to it.
You're not looking forward to it.
Are you getting assistance the whole time? You're trying to do it yourself?
I was by myself.
You were by yourself.
I was by myself because my wife at the time was a dancer.
So she went back on tour.
She had to go back on tour.
Oh, sorry, honey. I love you, but
yep. I gotta go. Gotta make the pesos.
Feel better.
I love you.
My God.
I love you.
Not that you don't get a nurse. You don't
well,
get,
I did have assistant. I have people coming in,
something.
you know what I mean, like to help me out with groceries and
you can't just be there by yourself in pain.
But
But most of the time you are.
But I was sedated like heavily for the longest time, which led to, unfortunately, like addiction to opioids and stuff
that
like
story
that.
all the time, right?
It's real.
All the time.
Real.
And you said 2005?
Yep.
Dude, height of it too. That's
Yep.
pill mills. That's all that shit's going on.
Percocets.
Fucking what's that family?
Vicodin.
That family is out there right now. The secular family or whatever. They're preying on people.
Oh yeah. So that was me back then.
But wait, but the idea of going through it without anything must have been
it's impossible.
Unbearable.
It's impossible.
You need
it's impossible.
something.
It's impossible.
And then all of a sudden, now, how do you get off of that as you start to get better? How do you even like know that you're getting better?
Physical therapy. You know what I mean?
They're kind of letting you know.
So my trips to physical therapy were like weekly, sometimes bi-weekly. You know what I mean? To see what kind of range of motion I was getting. Obviously, with the help of X-rays to see because it was not a nasty break. It was a clean break.
Okay.
Right. So the vertebrae, if you can visualize it,
sure.
You know what I mean, like it broke, but there was that space where it could not easily, but naturally fuse back in together, right?
Oh my God.
With being
over time,
over 6 months. You know what I mean?
That's a long over 6 months, man.
So,
that's all I can think about. Is that idea of 6 months.
Yes, sir.
That's a long time.
True story.
Like it sounds great. Yeah, it's a true story. You know what I mean? It's a real true story. And it's a nightmare of a story.
Yep.
So how's the other end of that, dude? You start like moving. You're like, all right, I'm back. I'm kind of all right.
I'm going back, you
start feeling good about things again?
Thankfully, I didn't get let go. You know what I mean? My job was still guaranteed, which was a very important part of this whole process.
That's really nice.
To know that was something to go back to.
Laying there thinking that you've lost it all just because of something out of your control is
absolutely
unbearable as well.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
But that happened, and over the 6 month recovery period, I was able to slowly move again, get back to go back to my routine and take class again, stretch again, get to move my body again. You know what I mean, which is something that you take for granted every day, but when you can't move anymore,
all of a sudden you realize the luxury that it really is.
Yep.
Holy crap. Yeah, what a way to realize that, though. Oh my God.
The things that you take for granted every day.
Yes, to be like, oh
try to touch your toes. You know what I mean? Like you're like,
go
my God,
all of it. You know what I mean? Daily activities, man.
Daily activities. Yep.
All right. So in your mind, you're gonna recover and you're gonna get back on stage. Or
I was like, it's going to happen.
You're still sure of it.
I was like, yes, it's gonna happen. Now, what did end up happening?
All right.
You know what I mean? Is I was so scared in the back of my head, the back of my mind, that I was not able to approach movement the same way I used to.
Well, you're going to have a level of fear that you didn't have before.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that changes it right there.
So, to make a long story short, everything that I used to be so fearless about, I took it with like, whoop, okay, careful there. Right. Careful, buddy. Slow down, buddy.
The last thing you want is for something like that to happen ever again.
No, it does happen.
But to have it happen in your early 30s, basically the prime, your prime, dude.
I was in my prime.
You're in your prime.
I was in my prime.
I don't want to go too deep. It's the idea, but I can't get off the idea of the mental health, whatever. It seems like the wrong word, but the mental struggle of that is
it makes you question things.
Crazy.
It makes you question things.
Like just being in your own head like that, and what is what and why, and you're blaming things or not,
and which led me to my transition. To be honest with you, and it was nothing from the artistic side of the company of my bosses that were like, you know what?
Maybe you should move on.
You're not as good as you used to be, or blah, blah, blah.
But you felt it.
But I felt that, you know what?
That seems depressing also, though, man.
Yeah.
I know it led to something good.
Yeah.
But at the time, it must have been like this hard thing to accept, right?
It was crazy. It was really heartbreaking for me to be like, damn, I'm not sure I want to do that right now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can do it with the same confidence that I used to have.
Who could?
You know?
So what do you start doing? You start going, what else can I do? Where else can I go?
It's like...
Does something else just happen?
Like,
Doors open? Because the universe is funny like that.
I need to take my, how do you call those blinders? Like, what you put on horses?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Blinders.
I was like, I need to take those blinders off and see what's beside me.
Open up that peripheral vision a little bit.
See what's beside me.
Widen your perspective.
And the beauty of where I was at that time is that I was always surrounded by crew members of the company.
So they weren't like strangers to you.
Oh, no, not at all.
I mean?
They were the guys that used to go out and have beers after the show.
Oh, you know these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Beyond the stage.
We were pals. We were pals. You know what I mean? Like, some people like do not mix between crew and dancers. And,
right.
Or
there is
whatnot.
sort of an invisible
but
wall
not with this company. We were all on the same
Well,
boat.
like you said earlier, it's a small company.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be tight. You're traveling around everywhere. How are you not going to be tight? Really?
You know,
it would be weird if you weren't tight, actually.
That would be rude.
You know what I mean? It'd be rude. It really would. So now, who's opening your eyes? Was it you that started going, maybe I can do the crew? Did someone suggest it? Was it just, what is that moment? Do you remember?
They were like, believe me, that was the man. That was the day.
20 years ago could have been yesterday.
Oh my God.
Come on, man.
And we were in St. Petersburg, Russia.
Oh, I was going to say Florida. It's all right.
St. Petersburg, Russia.
Sure.
And I was talking to the technical director at the time, E.J. Corrigan, who is no longer with us today, but he was somebody very special to us in the company.
That's awesome.
And he was, like, hey, the prop man, the prop man is not doing too good right now.
He's telling you this?
He's telling me, like, hey, like, I don't think the prop man is gonna make it. If you ever want to think of making a career move, that spot is yours.
Come on.
And I was like...
How nice is that?
I was like, wait.
Just offering? Just putting it out there? Just putting it out there?
I'm not telling you what to do.
You do whatever you want.
I'm telling you what to do, but I'm about to send a prop man home.
Here's a position, maybe.
That thing is opening right now.
That he thinks you would be...
And
what made him think you? What made him think of you?
Because I was always part of the gang. Yeah. I was always one of the guys that would look up when I walk into a theater.
Right. You were not just unaware of what was going on the tables.
That expect everything to be ready for me, because I know what those guys do day in.
You're recognizing the process. Even
I know they were there 2 days before to make sure that everything is right.
Well, you must have, because the TD saw that in you.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
You hadn't done anything like that.
I've heard all of the stories about
That's beautiful, man.
How crazy the local crew was, or how great the local crew was, or guys, we can't do rehearsal right now because the gear's, at the port at the airport or something.
We're getting through.
I mean, like.
Which happens often, right? I mean, there's always things
there's
that
always
pop up,
something happening.
which kind of is nice, actually. Like if it was all just rinse and repeat, it would get boring.
It would be so boring.
It's the what possible challenge is going to pop up today that we're going to overcome.
Yeah. We lost half the gear, like in the wrong track or something.
We're going to overcome it. You always overcome it. You find a way through.
That's the way the show is going. It's going to happen. It's going to be a show. I've known their side without necessarily understanding it fully. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've been, and I've been able since then to go into a theater, big or small, and appreciate, like, as a dancer, like, to look up and be like, yeah, the rig is up. Those guys did good.
Yeah,
I know they haven't slept, but the thing is up. Yeah. I was like, bad boys. It's like, wow.
That's as it should be. Everybody, really, you have to appreciate the entire crew. Everybody does a part.
From the truck drivers, like we were barbecuing with the like dancers, crew, food got us together.
Ailey is notorious for the barbecues,
exactly.
Their barbecues are legendary.
You know what I'm talking about.
Everywhere they go,
That's
why everybody wants to listen. It's a fun show to do, but being on the show crew for that barbecue,
dude. My first gig, I'm jumping ahead. But when I first started with the company in a crew, I was a prop master. As I was in charge of packing trucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had to make sure I had like a good 5 to 10 feet.
Leave that room for the barbecue, man. We got
for the barbecue, for the spice box. You know what I mean?
Dude, they come in deep, dude. They come in deep. They lay out a thing that is 50 feet long.
Sir, we have like work boxes full of spices.
Just spices, man.
Just
That's our
spices.
spice box for the show. Kind of.
The show is in the back.
We'll get to the show eventually. Don't worry about the show. We got food, man.
Yeah,
we got food and
you.
for everybody.
Yes.
Like they're not a company that comes in, does it. It's just for them.
No, the crew, the
Get
local
in here.
crew.
Get over
You know,
here.
you tasted it.
Oh, I have.
You tasted it.
I have. I need to get back over there. Man.
Yeah.
I miss it actually.
So that's going back to the original story. That's when EJ
Mm-hmm.
and I would never forget this. Like when he told me, like, hey, and that's when my wheels started turning.
Sure.
Like, shit.
Because it takes it out of your own head.
Yes.
It's been presented to you without asking.
I could have kept going dancing, knowing what I had in my head back then, versus an opportunity to join that other side.
So how quickly did you join that other side?
Within 3 weeks.
Right away, man.
Within 3 weeks.
Wow.
So we were in Russia.
It's a big decision, though.
It was a huge decision.
You know?
So we were in Russia for 3 weeks. We studied it in Moscow, and then we went to St. Petersburg, and we spent a week and a half in St. Petersburg. I started St. Petersburg as a dancer. I did my last show as a dancer in St. Petersburg.
You didn't do your first show in St. Petersburg, did you really?
And I did my first show as a crew member in St. Petersburg.
What? I mean, come on.
Yes.
Is life not beautiful? It's like a perfect circle.
I did my last show.
You couldn't have planned it. You wouldn't have planned it.
Hear me out.
Who would plan it?
I did my last show as a dancer, performing Revelations, the same show that my daughter got.
Opened her eyes too.
Opened my eyes
proud
too.
of her daddy.
I went to take a shower, changed, and I loaded out the show.
Come on, man.
With the crew.
You did, so you went on as a dancer.
Yep.
Changed, did the loadout.
Yes, sir.
Come on. It's amazing.
Yes, sir.
And that's it. And that starts a whole new path for you, man.
And that's
amazing.
Fast forward whatever years.
Now you're a production lead. What did you say?
I'm a project manager.
Project manager now.
Yep.
Like that path would have never been laid out.
If you would told me,
never.
in 1999 when I moved to the United States.
From France, right? From France proper, right?
From proper France. From Paris, France.
Yes. So you're French coming into America as a dancer.
But a one-way ticket to New York City. Yeah.
To come as a dancer?
To come as a dancer.
That was the dream?
I was like, I'm going there. I'm going to do this. I'm not leaving until I get it.
You didn't have the gig leaving France. You came here to get it.
Yep. I bought a one-way ticket.
Sam.
One-way ticket.
You're a monster, bro. That's great.
I think that's the way. That's
awesome.
Something that I have in me. You know what I mean? Like, if I want something, I'm going to go get it. Whatever it is. If I want something, I'm going to go for it.
Obviously. Like it shows in your work.
Yeah.
That's why you've stood out as everything. I mean, I met you as a lighting designer. You were a programmer. You were a board op that everyone was aware of. Like, oh, we need a board op. We need a lighting designer. Sam, you were on a list of 2 or 3 people, man. Like really. And to know that that guy that I met comes from a kid in France.
Yep.
Dare I say, with a dream, moves to New York, accomplishes that dream, has a nightmare situation happen.
Yep.
And it still turns out to be almost for the best. I mean, it gave you a career. It gave you
It gave me a career, and there.
It's wild,
you know what I mean? Like
it's wild.
I contribute all this with the family aspect of our craft.
Yeah, I think about that
because, look, EJ gave me an opportunity that could have never happened if that guy didn't get fired or let go.
Yep.
It would have never happened. I'm gonna skip years of learning, and mind you, our home base is New York, so I had to hear and learn from local one stagehands.
Oh, right, the real deal.
This guy that's this black dude that's French,
right?
Telling local one dude that's been in the business for 40 years, telling what to do.
Dad's dad was in the business.
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
You know what I mean?
But you held to it.
I've held to it. I've learned from it. I got confident, and all my success, I would say, come from those guys that ended up embracing me.
See,
beside the logistics of getting the whole rig together, but the artistry of knowing colors and the nuance and the finesse of a lighting cue. From changing a cue timing from 5 seconds to 5.6 seconds.
Oh, I do love the timing.
You know what I mean? Like,
I do love the timing.
That kind of
Matching up
shit.
fades
You
and
know,
stuff are
like
very clean.
these days, like when we do like these days I do a lot of festivals and EDC stuff, and it's like strobe,
Right,
like
right, right.
100. Everything is 100%.
The pace is
everything's at
like
full.
running,
You know what I mean?
running.
Boom, boom, boom,
Right.
boom, boom. You know, but like the beauty and the
subtlety
of a 7.4 second cue into a blackout.
Well, the way it adjusts that pace and feeling, there's an emotion to it.
Like a fade, like something that you can appreciate, like a fade, like a video black that can go smooth.
Oh, I love a long fade too.
God.
But what gets me with lighting, when I'm listening to lighting, they're like, bring it down 2%.
Yes.
Like numbers
give me 2 clicks. Give me 2 clicks. Yeah.
What are you seeing at 2%? I mean, even 10% is I barely register.
Yeah,
but they're like, perfect. All right.
Trust me.
And then at the end of it, you go, oh,
damn.
Look at the way it all blends.
Damn.
Look at the way it washes across. Nobody's in shadows.
And it matches the rest of the play or whatever.
Everything's clean. Everything makes sense. Nothing stands out as like out of place.
2%? Really?
I know. 2%? Like, come on. There's like, you know,
and then,
is that going to make a difference?
And then you're like, oh.
It does make a difference.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff's really, I mean, the levels of it is next level. The stages you can go through that you can always see something more to strive for, right? Makes his career interesting forever. Like forever, dude.
Yep.
You cool for a quick break? You all right? You good to stick around for a minute?
Yeah, I'm good.
Right,
I'm good. Right. But I would love a quick break.
Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. But how was that, man? Pretty good. That guy has got a passion for the business, you know? Passion for the arts. Nice to hear, isn't it? I mean, come on. That's what the whole thing is about. It's so nice. Makes me happy. Makes me happy to talk to people that are into it like that. So we are going to take a quick break. And when part 2 comes out, be prepared again. It is mostly his story of being at the Country Music Festival in Las Vegas several years ago, which was went terribly. Look, there's no thing to even say about it. It's horrible. But again, it is a real story. It is a real story about this live events world we live in, the potential for things to go awry when there's that many people in one place. Hope to God it never happens again. It's thankfully a very rare, horrible thing. But it's really cool of him to have shared that story with me. It was cool to hear all of this too. I mean, I've known the guy a while and I didn't know most of this. Yeah, can you believe another injury from a dancer turned into a tech and a career blossoms? I mean, it's a lot. It's cool. Just how many ways in there are to this thing. That's the good news. That's really the good news. There's the good sides of it. The bad sides, you know, there's some bad sides. There's some bad sides. And we're going to hear about one of them on the next one. Maybe next week, probably 2 weeks. I mean, maybe sooner. I don't know. We're just it's summer. We're creeping in, getting used to having some time again, getting back into this thing. Again, let me know what you think. You know, send me whatever, anything. Send me anything. I'll send you a sticker. If you want, would you like a sticker? I got nice stickers made. Pretty nice. That's all I got for now. All right. That's it. Episode 4. We did it. You did it. It is done. I thank you. And see you real soon. See you on the next one. Thank you, everybody.